Hi everyone, hope we're doing alright. We're finally coming into summer and there are a few extra bits that I want to crochet for my summer wardrobe. I was going to start these projects from the start and take you through to the finish. But today I've been sorting through my crochet collection and I realised how many whips I've been hoarding. I feel like a lot of us have a lot of things on the go at once. I would say I normally have 2 or 3 garments on the go. But I mean, I don't know whether it's because I've been busy for these last few months or my mind's just not really been keeping track of what I've been making. I have so many pieces that I've actually done quite a substantial amount of work on. Just to give you guys context, this is my collection. I mean, these aren't even all of my whips. These are just kind of like my whips for garments. I'm gonna go through them and decide which ones I want to finish. I don't want projects that are going to take me too long because I don't think I'll have an awful lot of energy just to burn through all of these whips. And then obviously the weather is going to get warmer, so I probably want to work on projects that are more suitable for summer, so when it gets a little bit cooler I can work on those whips ready for winter. First off, we have this version of a graphic mesh vest in the cross version, and for this piece I'm using a mix of cotton and bamboo. I wouldn't even call this a whip because I could probably finish this within 30 minutes. I just have a few finishing touches to add to this and it will be finished, but I have really been neglecting this piece, so I do want to finish that soon. Next, I am currently designing a distressed mesh vest, and this is my second version that I'm making. Now, I've started the 2 panels, but I need to finish these off and construct them together. And with this project, obviously I want to make it to wear it, but I'm currently working on a pattern. And once I finish this top, which is going to be a second version, I want to finish writing up my first draft so I can start getting that ready for pattern testing. This size is going to be an oversized one, which I could wear in autumn or winter. But this is made of cotton, so even if I want to use it as a layering piece in summer, it's going to work. My third whip is for my pattern for the mesh star jumper. That was the first pattern that I ever wrote, and I have actually redone the pictures, but I do want to get another version just because I'm not 100% happy with them. Also, I have wanted a green version of this jumper for a while, so it's kind of 2 birds, 1 stone. Get a bunch of new pictures and create a jumper that I've been meaning to make for quite some time. That is already quite a lot of crocheting that I have to do, so I might leave it there. But I do have another version of the mesh star jumper that I'm currently making for my friend. She's currently traveling, so this wouldn't be till she came back that she would get this, but it has been sitting around in my collection for quite some time. If I have some energy, I might as well complete that as well. It's currently 3 and I do have a few bits that I need to get done today. I do want to work on the pattern for my repeat distressed mesh vest, but crochet wise I want to start my second panel for the mesh star jumper in green, so I'll get that all started and update you guys once I've made some progress. Hi everyone, so it's the next day and I'm ready to show you guys what my mesh star jumper is looking like. Yesterday I got this amount done because I didn't actually end up spending too much time crocheting, plus because I want to get kind of like a thick white sheet to take pictures for my pattern as progress pictures. I'm not actually going to work on this one too much more for the minute until I have that, but today I was working on my pattern for the repeat distressed mesh vest. I finally got it to a point where I can start to think about getting pattern testers, so I think I want to focus on doing that so I can check what I've done already and make sure that I'm 100% happy with it. For the rest of today, I think I'm just going to continue working on that draft and I'll crochet a little bit of the vest just to make sure I'm happy with where it's going. It's currently 1 and I have till around 7 to work because I'm seeing my friend's choir performance performance. So I'm gonna try and get a little bit of crocheting done, and then I will update you guys with my progress. Also, this is the pattern that I'm working on for the other vest, and I think this is really cute, but the only thing is I made this while I was kind of obsessed with more like cropped t-shirts. As you can see, it's not very long, and for my next version, I definitely want a longer version, just because I feel like I've grown out of that stage. But the only problem is I do have a lot of crochet tops that are slightly cropped. So I don't know whether to frog them or to potentially sell them. I don't know, I'm gonna have a little think about that. I also wanted to show you that whilst this is kind of made so it can be worn alone, this kind of top is very cute for layering as well. Maybe if I do a part 2 of this video, I'll create another graphic mesh vest, but make it quite oversized. I feel like I would get a lot more wear out of that. Right, you guys, I'm gonna get myself some lunch and I will update you guys soon. It's the next day and I didn't end up getting any footage of what I did in the afternoon because I actually was going to film whilst I was watching the choir performance. I felt too awkward to actually film anything, but I had a very good time. I have also been working on my panel. The skincare that I got from Beauty of Josong I ended up actually really liking. I ended up ordering their sun cream as well just because I do need a new sun cream. I tried that out today and obviously I want to give it a few wears. I think my problem with sun cream is no matter if it's kind of like a face sun cream or whether it's meant to feel light, to me all face sun creams just feel like sun creams. They don't really feel like moisturizers. But like that one for me felt so much more like a moisturizer. Like my face isn't really sticky and like there definitely is a sheen with the sun cream, but it's not too much. 10 out of 10 I am rating Beauty of Josong. I do really want to get back into skincare because that was something that when I was younger I did used to really enjoy doing. But anyway, I basically have all of today and all of tomorrow to try and finish up as much as I can. Today I just want to focus on doing the 2 vests and trying to get as much progress with those as possible. It's currently 9 in the morning. I will update you guys later on today. I finally finished my first panel and this is what she looks like. I do want this to be a little bit oversized and baggy, and I'm pretty sure I'm happy with all of these dimensions. The one problem that I have run into though is I definitely am gonna run out of this black yarn. As you can see, I don't have a lot of it left and I still basically have half a panel to crochet, so I am thinking of what I can do to counteract that, because this is the thing, I can't always buy new yarn when I run out, because if I start doing that then I'll still have a bunch of extra yarn and that's just kind of not really practical. And this is the thing, I already have this vest in this color, it's just a different fit, so maybe having kind of a different kind of aspect to it apart from the fit is not really gonna be a bad idea. So I'm gonna have a look through some scrap cotton that I have, which I keep in this cute little basket, and I'll see if I can find anything that will go well with it, just because I do think kind of like a scrap yarn kind of yarn change might look good with this, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So you guys, this is our color selection, and as you can see, I don't really have a nice color story to go with black. The one thing I would say is I could build this around these 2 greens, but they're the complete wrong size, and I don't know, I don't have enough colors to kind of bulk these out. So I ended up finding these 2 gray colors, and I'm gonna put those with this black and white. I'm actually not 1000% sure that these 2 go together, but I don't know whether these 3 just kind of by themselves would look a little bit strange. And then when it comes to what I want to do when it comes to color changing, I'm kind of in between 2 ideas. I'll either do it so I kind of have like vertical strips of color changing that are kind of random. My other option is to do it so I kind of do vertical lines, but I keep either 2 color changes or 1 color change aligned just so it's not too complex. And at this very moment, that's kind of the one one that I'm leaning towards just because it's going to be a little bit easier than having a bunch of balls of yarn kind of that I'm working with at once. And don't get me wrong, that is worth it when it comes to things like intarsia where you're kind of getting a benefit from it. But I almost feel like the amount of kind of frustration it's going to cause me is not worth it. So yeah, I am leaning towards the horizontal lines and kind of working it like that. But what I'll do is I'll go away and work on it for a little bit. As for like the plan of my day, today's going to be a little bit more of a chill day. I am planning on doing some Pilates. I personally do move with Nicole, but I am open to other people to try. Just because I've been doing Move with Nicole's YouTube videos for so long that I kind of have my favorites, and it's probably a good idea to kind of branch out and try something new. So if you guys have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. I think I'm just going to be crocheting and doing some Pilates, and I've got a few kind of like work kind of like errandy bits that I need to do, but honestly it shouldn't take me more than a few hours, so I actually have quite a chill day today. My goal for today is to finish either the distressed mesh vest or to finish the graphic mesh vest. Which one I want to complete, I don't know, but yeah, that's kind of like my goal. Right, I will check in with you guys in a little bit. Morning you guys. So today is going to be the last day that I try and get all of these projects done. My plan for today is I'm going to go back to see my parents and some of my other family. I've got quite a bit of work that I want to get done, so I'm not going to get an awful lot of crocheting done. Where I'm at the moment is I've finished both of my vests. This is what the first one looks like. Obviously I still need to sew in ends. I've tried this one on and this one fits really nicely. And then the second vest looks like this. I still have a little bit more to do for this vest to add a few finishing touches. And this is what the scrap yarn area ended up looking like. I'm actually really happy with it, but I don't know whether I want this to be the back or the front. But I suppose the one good thing with this design is that you can wear it either way, so I don't really have to pick which side I want to be what. I've got a lot of ends that I need to sew in with this one as well. I did end up doing a little bit more work on my jumper. This is what it's looking like, and sadly Moon decided to eat the yarn while I'd left it in the lounge, which it's my fault. I should have put it away, but that means that I do have a magic knot, which isn't the end of the world. I will say the longer that I've crocheted, the less I actually trust a magic knot. I suppose it's probably fine with things that you don't really use that much, but when it comes to crochet clothing or just things that you kind of use a lot and wash a lot, I feel like that knot's just going to come undone, so I will sew in these ends. And if you know anything about me, you know that I hate sewing, so obviously that's not ideal. What I'm going to try and do is get the pictures that I wanted for my pattern with this yarn whilst I'm home, and then hopefully I'll be able to finish this jumper, but I'm not 1000% sure if I actually will or not. But today I'm definitely going to focus on this project and trying to get as much done as possible, which, to be fair, I should be able to finish this panel within an hour or two, and then it's just adding sleeves and the star detail in the front. It's not completely out of the realms of possibility. It honestly just depends on how much extra work I'm going to do at home. Also, you guys, I was looking back at the footage that I've taken for this video, and I've recently cut my hair. Sadly, I hate to inform myself, but I don't think I'm actually a fan of it because I cut my own hair. I'm not the best at cutting hair. I just kind of do it because I prefer doing it myself than someone else doing it. But I gave myself some short bits in the front and I kind of cut my hair to a little bit of a shorter length, and I just don't really know what to think about it. I think my problem is I'm not the kind of person that will do my hair in the morning past brushing it, so I kind of need a low maintenance hairstyle. And I feel like with stuff like this, your hair kind of needs to be sitting right for it to look good. Also, I'm using the sun cream that I got yesterday, and I am actually a really big fan of it. Yesterday, I put on a lot just because I feel like to properly test a sun cream, you need to put the same amount on that you would if it was like the hottest day that you would. How am I gonna say this? I have like my daily amount of sun cream that I wear, but I will put on more sun cream if it's a lot brighter or I'm gonna stay out for longer. I tested out using that amount and it was fine. Today I've used a little bit more of a normal amount and I can't even tell that I have sun cream on. So yeah, 10 out of 10. I will update you guys later. Hi everyone, so this is going to be my final update. Today I've just been finishing off a few bits and I ended up going into town to do a little bit of work at a coffee shop. I went there with my boyfriend and we just got a little bit done, and actually wait, let me show you. We did a little bit of a charity shop, and not gonna lie, I used to buy quite a lot of clothes, but in the last kind of like 2 years or so, I've really kind of minimized how much I've bought. Like this year alone, clothes wise, I don't think I bought any more than 5 pieces and all of them have been secondhand. But I found these dark brown Dickies for £15, which I don't know, I'm kind of used to a certain price point when it comes to charity shops. So even though these are Dickies and there are definitely a few kind of like wear and tear things, £15 is a lot, but this is the one color that I did want to get, so I grabbed those. Also, Peep with the Bandana, it's a new pattern that I've just posted and I think it's really cute. This one is a grey version using acrylic, and I do have some cotton versions as well. If you guys want to make your own version, go ahead and check out the pattern. But for now, I'm going to take it off so I can try on my pieces. So first off, I have the graphic mesh cross vest and she turned out really cute. This is my first time using this pattern with a cotton and bamboo yarn and I'm really happy with how it's turned out. Okay, you guys, it's actually inside out, because the thing that I like about this design is obviously it's filet crochet, but afterwards I go round with surface crochet just to outline the design, and I normally do that in a different yarn color, but for this version I ended up using the same color that I used for the rest of it, and I'm gonna have to make a few more versions of this because it's definitely a different vibe to the one that I was wearing a few days ago, but it's really cute and I do definitely like the monochromatic kind of vibe of it. I'm gonna try this on for you guys just so you can see what it looks like. So for this one, I decided to take off my turtleneck just because I feel like with this fit, I'll probably wear it more often just by itself. Like, I don't live in a reality where I think this is 100% opaque, but definitely like the placement of the cross. I kind of did it on purpose so it would have more coverage for my nipples, and everything's actually hit a very good spot. Even where it's hitting me on the waist is about where I want it to be. I definitely think that using the bamboo cotton for this kind of tighter fit was a really good idea, just because I feel like it has more flexibility and stretch, so obviously it kind of like fits really, it just feels really comfortable to wear, so I'm really happy with that. I would say the only downfall to this one, especially if I'm wearing it just kind of by itself, is I would say it's quite kind of like a dressy top. There's something about filet crochet that reads super kind of like dressed up and formal, even though it's kind of not. I suppose for me, this isn't kind of like a day-to-day top, so even though I really like it, I know I'm not going to wear it all the time, but like if I'm doing a day out somewhere, I feel like I'll reach for this one just because obviously I love the design, the feel and the fit of the bamboo cotton is really nice. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And actually, I know that I was saying that this is kind of like a more dressed up kind of top. I feel like it almost wouldn't even have that vibe if I picked a different color. I don't know whether I'm just chatting shit, but I feel like if this was in black, maybe I would kind of view it as something more casual. I don't know. You guys tell me if I'm crazy, but do you kind of get what I'm saying? I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10 just because whilst I did want to make something this color, because I don't really have a lot of kind of like beige stuff in my closet, I probably could have picked a color that I would wear more often. But yeah, anyway, enough about that. Next we have the distressed mesh vest, which has turned out like this. As I said earlier, I'm not sure whether I want this to be the back or the front. I am almost thinking about whether I want to kind of put some form of applique on this. But for now, I'm just going to keep it like this. I would say that this is probably my favorite piece just because I haven't really made anything like this before. I'm really excited to pattern test this piece just because I actually do want to make another version, and I almost think this would look really nice in kind of like a deep red. This is the wrong way around. Right, let me try this one on for you guys. Right, so this is what the vest looks like on. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put a shirt underneath it so you can kind of get the vision of what I was going for better, because it looks a little bit naff with this. Yeah, I mean, this is the shirt that I was wearing earlier. I probably wouldn't pair these colors together, but you can kind of get the vibe. It's kind of like sweater vesty, but it's a lot more vest than sweater, and I think it's turned out really well. This is what the back looks like, and I feel like, as I said, I'll play around with which side I like better. Out of all the things I've made, even just this year, I feel like this is one of the pieces that's the most my style. This summer, I feel like I'm going to be wearing this quite a lot, so I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. I feel like this is going to be the one that I get the most wear out of. And then finally, with my last piece, I'm going to give it to myself, and I feel like I always say this, but in a different world, I would have been able to finish this within the time that I gave myself to finish all of my stuff. But because I kind of had to focus crocheting this around daylight and taking pictures and all of that stuff, and I was actually meant to go home on Friday, but there was just kind of like some palaver and I couldn't end up doing that, so that kind of threw off my schedule. So I ended up only completing the first 2 panels. This is what it looks like. Obviously, I need to add the star in the middle and I need to do the sleeves. Keep your eye out on my other social medias because I'll post this jumper once it's done. And even though this isn't finished, I'll just try this on for you guys so you kind of get the vibe. So this is kind of like what it's gonna look like. Not gonna lie, this is gonna be very cute. I think this is gonna be my favorite version of this pattern because I do have this version kind of like oversized in all black, and I actually wear that one quite a lot. Not gonna lie, I actually can't think of anything that I've crocheted that is this shade of green because I feel like I kind of go for either like a dark green or a more sage green, but I actually really like this color, so I am looking forward to seeing what it fully looks like when it's done. Obviously, you can probably imagine when it comes to constructing the sleeves, I'm going to keep them quite baggy as well. But yeah, I reckon that this probably only needs around 4 or 5 more hours of crocheting and it should be done. So definitely keep your eye out for that. I'm going to give this one, actually I probably shouldn't rate it because I haven't actually finished it. So I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 because kind of like in the progress that I've made, I'm 100% happy with it. But as I say, I'll definitely keep your eye out for when this jumper is finished. Right, you guys, that is going to be it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you're subscribed and you like and comment. Keep your eye out for that distressed mesh vest pattern. As I say, I'm currently working on it and the testicle might be out by the time this video's out, so definitely go ahead and check out my Instagram if you want to test for me. Right, you guys, I hope you have a good rest of your day and I will see you in the next video. Bye.